All right, team. So I want to take this time to share a story about someone I've coached to help him build an emergency fund up, use it properly, and use it to actually save money in the long run. So let me tell you a little bit of his story. So first off, he was reluctant to even have an emergency fund when he started, but he boosted up anyways. He got, I think it was about $1,200 as an emergency fund, just as a cushion. And then his car decided the wheels were no good and the brakes were no good. So he was panicked because he didn't want to put this on a credit card. He didn't want to deal with this repair. He didn't want to pay the credit card back, all this stuff. So he was a little panicked inside. But then he remembered he actually had enough money in his emergency fund to cover this expense. So he told me this later, but his stress level dropped completely. He walked up to the teller, paid whatever it was, and then walked away. He boosted this fund back up, and then his cat got sick and he had to pay for that. And then he decided, okay, you know what, I'm going to boost this up a little higher. So he boosted this emergency fund up to 6 months of expenses. And then his car he just fixed decided to blow up. Okay, it didn't blow up. The engine just stopped working. But either way, the car wasn't drivable. It wasn't worth getting fixed. So now he was on the hunt for a new car. Conveniently, the shop that they were at was located on a dealership. So they were walking around this dealership considering buying a brand new vehicle and putting it on payments. But after considering this, he thought about it for a bit, realized if he put this car on payments, he was going to go back into debt. He was going to have this car loan sitting around for 8 years. And it just wasn't worth it. So they decided to look at how much they had in their 6-month emergency fund and then buy a car based on that. So I don't remember what the number was, but they decided to do that instead. So they had $1,000 left over of their 6 months of expenses, bought a car based on how much they could afford with that 6 months of expenses, and then walked away. The key here is that if they hadn't had that 6 months of expenses, they probably would have bought a brand new car, put on payments, been in debt for another 8 years, and it just would have cost them more money. So that emergency fund is so important. Keep going, keep winning. Cheering for you.